Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back, another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Sunday, April 6th, after the Celtics win over the Washington Wizards. Only have a few games left in the season, and now I think 4 is the number now. They have 4 games left this year. Pick up a big win over Washington at TD Garden, a final score of 124-90, a 34-point win for the Celtics. Looked like it could have been a lot more for a lot of the game, but garbage time came in, and not a lot of scoring in garbage time for either team, really. But good team win for the Celtics. Only one team had, or one player, I should say, and the whole game had 20, and Pritchard had exactly 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Celtics had 10 points or more. Good overall win. I mean, it's the Wizards, so there's only so much you can take away, but there were some fun little tidbits and storylines that we can discuss. But good win. Celtics now back to 2 wins in a row. They're on a little win streak again.
Yeah, and 2 wins away from 60 wins, which is pretty sick. I mean, I was looking at it in the press room tonight just because I was curious as they approach the number. If they split their last 4 games, they'll hit it. Only 14 teams in Celtic history have hit 60, so they'd be number 15. Quite the honor because this has been a franchise. I mean, more Celtics teams have won championships that have hit 60 wins. They don't hang banners for 60 wins, but still. Anyways, talking about 60 wins after win 58 is not the move today. This was the type of win they should have had against the Wizards. Well done. They took care of business. They had 1 billion offensive rebounds. Nobody asked about him today, and I don't really know if he was worth like a story, but Torrey Craig definitely deserves a shout-out because his minutes were probably the longest they've been this year since he joined, and then he hit the glass like a motherfucker. He had 8 rebounds, 4 offensive, 4 defensive, and it just felt like he set the tone when he came in the game for them to be aggressive on the offensive glass. And anytime you're playing with Kornet playing big minutes, it's going to be a day where he's getting a lot of rebounds. He had a double-double today. He continues his hot streak. This is just the weirdest box score to look at because there's no real top guy. So many different guys had good games. I'm sorry, I'm falling asleep here. But yeah, impressive win, impressive team win, and they took care of business the way they should have. Good for them.
Yes, sir. Let's start with Jaylen. I thought Jaylen was really good again. He didn't take a ton of shots. He only played 21 minutes, which is a good thing. But he had 15 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 5 of 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. But he kind of split up this game into 2 different sides of Jaylen Brown. He was a playmaker through and through in the first half. All 5 of his assists were in the first half, 4 of which were in the first quarter. Did a great job setting up his teammates all night, even when he wasn't getting the assists. And then third quarter comes around and just buckets, pure buckets, 10-point third quarter for Jaylen Brown. And he got the buckets in the way he was sort of describing to us after the Suns win on Friday. Slow, methodical, slowing down the pace of the game, not relying on his athleticism, getting to his spot, getting the defender off, and then rising up for a bucket, whether it was from 3 or mid-range. He continues to be very good, very efficient, despite the knee injury, and it really does look like he's learning to play with it. Almost to the point where you're wondering, like, if this is, like, genuinely going to positively impact his career arc. Like, these moments where he is learning to play slower, where he's learning to be a playmaker more than a scorer at times, like, it really feels like if he can combine this with the athleticism and the explosion, or what is explotivity is not a word, whatever, explosiveness, that's what I'm looking for. Combine these things with that skill and the athleticism when his knee gets healthy again, like, he will be a much more complete player. So right now, sucks that he's playing through pain. Long run, though, you can see how this could have a positive impact.
Is this the Celtics/Jaylen equivalent to Iron Man taking Spider-Man's like super cool suit away and he has to wear like the rags in Spider-Man Homecoming and learn how to be Spider-Man that way without all the tech? Is that what it is? It might be. Jaylen just losing his knee and having to learn how to play slow and not score in transition and set his teammates up. Listen, I'll put my hand up on this one. I mean, I still don't love that he's playing hurt, but he continues to look not hurt, and he's playing more efficiently as these games go on. So you were right from the beginning. You said, maybe this is just he has to learn about this and figure out what he can do best to play this way and battle through it and adjust to the pain. And it really is feeling like he's doing that. He had only 15 points today, which is not a big scoring night by his standards. But the efficiency was there, 5 of 9, 2 of 4 from 3. I'm fine with that. If he's giving you 15 points on those kind of efficient splits, I don't think I'm going to complain. There weren't many moments where you felt like he forced anything. I liked it from Jaylen. He turned the ball over once or twice, but it wasn't anything that took them out of the game. Obviously, it's Washington, and he was just a big part of what they did, which was taking care of business. And the playoffs, he's going to have a little bit of like a buffer at the beginning where the competition is going to be super steep. So he's going to probably be able to continue some of this learning in adjusting that he's been doing. So that's good too.
Indeed. Shout out Jaylen. It feels like he's figuring things out despite the knee injury, which is positive. I really like the playmaking, man. He has turned his game into like he's not always having to be a scorer. He talked about it after the last game. Even when he's not getting the assists, like it really just feels like he is using the I'm going to drive into the paint, get to my spot, and kick it out, and then the ball is going to move a million times for a good look over and over and over again, which is fun to watch unfold because that's not something you saw from him a lot in years past. He only had one turnover in this one too. He only had to play 21 minutes because the Celtics won by a million. So this was what pretty much all you can ask for as people looking for Jaylen Brown to be in the best spot heading into the playoffs. But before we continue, I need to tell you about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place for daily fantasy sports action, real money sports action, I should say, to over 10 million members, billions of dollars in award winnings. It's made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Sam and I run the Prize Picks every single pregame show. We were close today. We were, I believe, one Derrick White assist away from hitting our Prize Picks. You just pick 2 or more player projections, pick more or less, and then you have a chance to win. Springtime is here as well. You can combine sports in the Prize Picks. So if you want to pick someone from baseball, someone from basketball, combine them in the Prize Picks and create your lineup that way too. As the basketball season winds down, make sure to check it out. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get after you play your first $5 lineup. To get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Okay, back to this. Quietly great Derrick White game, I think, is where I want to go next. 19 points, 4 assists, 1 rebound, 5 of 9 from 3. I guess he was just hot from 3, but Derrick White continues to be great. He only had 4 assists in this one, but you can see him running the offense a little bit too. His connection with Luke Kornet is great. He got some nice passes with Luke Kornet as well, or from Luke Kornet as well, I should say. Just a really solid night from him. And we got the podium game from DY too, which is fun.
Yeah, it's always interesting when Tatum's not playing to see who it's going to be stepping up, taking more shots, scoring. I mean, Derrick didn't take an astronomical amount of shots at 12. He was tied for the third most on the team, rather. But he is certainly loving basketball again. He had that stretch where he was like, yeah, I'm just not having fun. He's back. He's making fun of Jaylen Brown for throwing a T-shirt into the crowd, not really doing a good job at it, which he was asked about by Corrales after the game, and basically said Jaylen didn't throw a spiral, and it was pretty embarrassing for everybody involved. Derrick making his threes is always a positive thing. I mean, I think over the recent couple weeks, he's felt like he's been in a pretty good rhythm, but there have been a few cold nights where you're like, oh, man, that sucks. But Derrick is great because he doesn't really make you feel that he's playing bad. You'll just kind of look up. Sometimes you'll look at the thing after the game, the box score after the game, and you'll be like, wait, he was only 3 of 13 from 3? I thought he made way more. It's because he makes these massive shots that you just remember. This was a game that they didn't really have a ton of those, but he was able to get a lot in rhythm. He was able to walk into a few threes, and I think that was pretty helpful. Got a lot of looks early on. I think he was 1 of 4 to start this game. So he finished 5 of 9. That means he was, 4 of 5 for the rest of the game after the first couple possessions. Math is hard. So, he continues to be a mental warrior where didn't start great, finishes great, very proud, very, very proud.
Yes, 100%. Where to next? Peyton Pritchard had 26 and 7 off the bench, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 8 of 18 from the field, 4 of 11 from 3. Felt like a quiet Peyton Pritchard game to me. Like it didn't feel like he put up these crazy stats. Maybe that because he played into garbage time a little bit. Great though, undeniably great, solid Pritchard game. Fun things from him. Sam Hauser we can lump into because I think his game, ironically enough, even though he didn't fill up the stat sheet as much, was a little bit more notable to me at least, or noticeable, I should say. He had 18 and 8. I asked Joe and Derek, I asked Joe about it after the game. Carlos asked Derek, but Sam Hauser's been doing a lot more of the not 3-point shooting stuff. He shot 4 or 7 from deep, but he also like drove a bunch of closeouts. So was making plays for others. He didn't have any assists, but he had some of those pass to assist type plays tonight. Joe Mazzulla praised his rebounding, which has been huge too. If he can continue to like drive these closeouts and do all of this other stuff outside of the 3-point line, the Celtics are just going to get even more dangerous on offense. So shout out Hauser and obviously shout out Pritchard too.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about the Hauser stuff earlier in the season when he was having back problems, and he was still doing a good job of that. Like his pull-ups on mid-ranges were really good. He had a tough like contact finish, which was a floater today. He has done what Grant Williams attempted to do successfully. Grant did this thing when he was in his last season with the Celtics where he was trying to drive the closeouts. It almost never went well. And it was like, man, why is this guy trying to do anything other than catch and shoot from 3? Because that's what he's good for on offense. I've been very impressed with what we've seen from Hauser in that respect. I thought to myself watching it today, I was like, wow, like he really does a lot more than just shoot threes, which is what we've been, discussing here. But just the drives, the control on the drives, the willingness to go into contact isn't the typical type of thing that you see from shooters, guys that are just snipers running around screens. He's willing to get gritty, I guess. Gritty could be the word. Finish in the paint. I like that. I think he has put it together after a very underwhelming stretch in this season. And, if he's able to give him driven points in the playoffs, that's going to be found money. I don't think anybody's counting on that. But if he's able to do it, then awesome. It'll be great because it punishes the defense, keeps them honest when they're trying to close out. It's something that I don't think any of us expected to see this year.
You call them driven points? Like points off drives?
Yeah, driven points.
No. It makes sense. What you said
Yeah.
makes sense. I've just never heard it. But I
made it up.
That plays. No, that plays.
It's not a thing people say. Don't worry. You're not missing out.
I just like it just like took a second in my brain to like connect what exactly you were saying. I want to shout out Drew Holiday, man. Drew Holiday shot 5 of 13 from the field. Not great. And he was 3 of 5 from 3. So that means he was 2 of 8 from 2, which isn't great. However, 13, 7, and 5, 5 offensive rebounds. I have been on this train for like a month now, 2 months at this point. Drew Holiday, ever since the Memphis game, it feels like, where he got left open for a million threes, has continued to find ways to make an impact on offense without the ball in his hands, or without standing behind the 3-point line, I should say. He is getting the ball in his hands more, which is why I misspoke. Running more pick and rolls. He's playing out of the dunker spot. He's attacking the offensive glass. He is cutting off the ball. There was a play. It was like the first play of the game. I marked it here. I'll probably tweet it out tomorrow in my little film session thing I do. But he, I want to see exactly what it is so I can recall it. Derek missed the 3 that it came out of it, but Drew screened for JB off the ball, and the gravity of Jaylen as a scorer and a ball handler, and Luke Kornet, who was about to hand it off, like allowed Drew to just cut into the paint. So he screened and then cut into the paint immediately. Kornet found him. And then he was able to swing it back around the perimeter for a Derrick White 3, which he did miss. But he's just done such a great job of doing everything else outside of just standing behind the 3-point line. And I think it's important for people who are concerned about his 3-point shot to remember just how impactful he can be without the threes.
It's true. The thing about this Drew game that was weird is he got off to just an incredible start. He was hot in the first half. You're like, damn, like he's here. He came to play. That's what we've been waiting to see. It's not, I wouldn't say waiting to see. I think we've seen flashes of, oh, wow, like, yeah, Drew's getting buckets now, like looks pretty good, looks more comfortable, looks fully healthy outside of the hand. Like his functioning muscles that he actually needs to use to play basketball are all working. He's not having shoulder problems anymore. And all of a sudden he's getting his shot back a little bit. But he just had that weird, like, cold stretch in this game where he's missing layups and stuff. That's fine. In the playoffs, you're not going to want to see missed layups. It kills you. It leads to transition points. It can be pretty harmful, actually. But in this game, it didn't matter. I mean, Wizards were just trying their best out there. That's all they were able to do is try. but it was cool to see him be aggressive. That is a good thing because you forget that he's got it in there, and you just think about a game like the one on Friday where he only took 3 shots, and then all of a sudden today he's taking 13. The difference of the type of rhythm you have to be in to play that sort of game is impressive, that he's able to kind of just take it on whatever night to night and be fine doing it. Like, wasn't uncomfortable taking those shots today. 2 of 8 from inside the perimeter isn't great, but he'll be fine.
Indeed. Let's talk about the big fellas now. Luke Kornet, Al Horford. Al Horford didn't shoot particularly well, most of it because of his 3-point shot. He was 3 of 8, which is fine, but he was 1 of 4 from inside the arc. But he had 11, 10, and 4 assists, which was good. But then there's Luke Kornet, who had 13 points on 6 of 9 shooting with 3 assists and 14 rebounds, 9 offensive rebounds. This dude is just a monster. He's the king of the tap out rebound, which is I am taller than you. I'm just going to get my hand to the ball first, which I think is an underrated part of the way he attacks the glass. Luke Kornet is not athletic. Like, to be clear, like not at all, right?
I don't know if you've seen him do the windmill dunks.
Compared to us, he's a freak athlete. But compared to the other guys on the court, he is not a great athlete. But he's just bigger than everyone else and knows how to position himself and can read the rebounds that he can just go boop and tap it back out to whoever's at the 3-point line. And so he does that a ton. So shout out to him. His playmaking has been incredible this year. He was showing off some flashes of playmaker, finding guys on cuts. The Celtics have been cutting a lot more lately, it feels like, and it's because he can pass, because Al can pass. Kristaps has gotten better as a passer throughout his time here too. Those 2 guys are phenomenal. Like, double big lineups that look good this year, especially the the Luke Al lineups. Luke just makes everything work, and I mean, Al's Al. Everyone knows how good he is. So
they're just like hitting their stride at the right time. Horford really never has to do too much, and when he does a lot, we can't believe it. We're like, holy shit, he's incredible. This guy rocks. By the way, mid-game, Steve Wilpett dropped like an exclusive where Horford's like, I want to keep playing. So for those of you worried about his retirement, it could still happen, but the feel right now is that's not what he's thinking about. So that's pretty good. And then when you want to look at Kornet, this guy's just been, behind Pritchard, the most shocking thing on this team this year. He's been unbelievable anytime he gets extended run. I mean, that was a case last year too. He had really good games when he would start and play like 30-plus minutes or whatever the number would have to be for the stats to be there. This year, he's not only just being like solid, he's really impacting the game. Like 9 offensive rebounds, like you mentioned, is unbelievable. The shift he's putting on the glass. And Abby Chin asked Derrick about it at the podium, and Derrick was like, yeah, we just kind of are not expecting him to get those rebounds, but we're pretty confident that he's going to be able to battle down there and create extra possessions. And you mentioned the tap outs. A lot of the Holiday, he might, to be honest with you, Kornet might be responsible for more than just his 13, 14 rebounds, whatever it was, because Holiday got a lot of those long tap out. I don't know if they were tapped out, but a lot of his offensive rebounds were long bounces, and they could have been created by Kornet just fighting down there or whatever it may have been. He's just unbelievably impactful, and you can trust him to finish just about everything that you give him in the paint. Oh, man. You can't say enough good things about him. You just can't. Because even if he has a bad game, it's not like the kind of thing that you feel like just takes the air out of the building. It's just he's not as productive. He just won't have 14 points. He'll have like 4. And that they don't need him to have that much money. They've got a decision to make with him this summer. I know we did the whole video of him putting them in a weird spot. I don't know what they do. I don't know.
We are encroaching upon keep Luke Kornet at all costs territory. That's what we're getting to.
Well, there's a very important person that is a fan of his. So,
yeah, true. Very true. Before we continue, I need to tell you guys about Game Time. Game Time is the best place for all your ticketing needs. Game Time has a ton of great features that make it the best place to buy your tickets. Let me pull it up so I can show you exactly just what you're getting with Game Time. No matter the event, whether it's a baseball game, a basketball game, a concert, a comedy show, any sort of live event, you can go onto Game Time and see exactly what you need to see to make your choices for what tickets you want to grab. Let's take a look at the Mumford & Sons concert at the Xfinity Center. It shows you the exact view from the seat that you would like to sit in. If you click back here in the lawn section, you can see the view from there for that type of event. So as you can see, it's a concert at the community center. You can see exactly what you'll be seeing from that seat. Let's say you want to go over here to the Star, which is a great deal. You can see the type of stuff you're seeing. So if you see any poles in the way or you might be sitting, you can check that out before you buy the tickets. And then right over here, you can see the lawn in the back for the Fire Emblem for the cheapest price in the arena. You can also toggle on and off the feature so you see the fees before checkout so you don't get surprised with anything at the end of your process. Game Time also comes with the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. And then Game Time ticket coverage, which means your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Back to the Wizards game. As we wrap up here a little bit, Baylor Shireman got 21 minutes. He only shot 2 of 6 on all threes. And Joe Mazzulla got mad at him for something, and I'll talk about that as well. But he had 6 points, 4 rebounds, 2 of which were offensive rebounds. He had 2 assists. He had 4 turnovers. It's kind of a weird game for Baylor Shireman. He got in the game and started off well. He hit 2 threes. I don't know if it was in a row or 2 of 3 or something, but he started off well. He had a nice behind-the-back pass to Drew Holiday in transition. And then a couple plays later, maybe the next play, he had the ball in his hands at the top of the key. Sam Hauser caught in. He tried to force feed it to him. I don't know if it was there, and he turned it over. And then on the other end, tried to draw a charge and got called for a blocking foul. Joe Mazzulla was pissed off at the pass he tried to throw for Hauser. After he failed to draw the charge, he called him over and was basically like, you could see him with palms up, like what was that? And then Shireman had a relatively rough rest of the game. A couple turnovers, not exactly hitting his spots. He was still hustling. No one hustles for rebounds like Baylor Shireman does, which is always impressive to me. But it was an interesting little coaching moment between Joe and Baylor. And yeah, I mean, it was a fun game from Baylor, but it was an interesting little moment there.
In my opinion, Baylor was the most fun part of this game. He had that. He had a 3 trips down the floor stretch where he made a 3, and then in transition he hits Holiday for that behind the back, similar to what Rondo does in 2010 against the Cavs, where he throws the ball behind his back and LeBron bites on the ball fake, and Tony Allen dunks the ball, and then he has another 3, and it was electric. And you're right about Shireman. I was watching him play today, and just the intensity he plays with, his willingness to just do the dirty work, it almost reminded me of Marcus, just like the fucking hustle on rebounds and flying in there against guys not twice his size but much bigger than he is, and not really coming close to it, but banging bodies with them, taking the charge that wasn't a charge, but being willing to just take the knee to the chest and go down with it. Jack's least favorite play in all basketball, by the way, which is not unjust. But he isn't afraid to get hit or do anything, and it might be the football player in him. There were possessions that I watched him play defense today, and I was like, oh my gosh, he played perfect defense on Jordan Poole, didn't give up any ground, didn't bite on any moves or anything like that. Shireman might be a real keeper. This post All-Star break stretch from Shireman, even in a day he has 6 points. Wow. Not to say he doesn't have the bad moments, because you mentioned it, Mazzulla was pissed at him. There are growing pains. He is a rookie, but he's just come a really long way from looking timid out there in the first summer league game. And you remember that, we had high expectations for him. He really didn't do much. He didn't have a great showing. He wasn't quite finishing defensive possessions. He was late getting beat to the cup, that kind of thing. He was fouling guys. And then now all of a sudden he's not only playing good defense, but he's confident shooting the ball, taking big play shots, where he'll pull up. If he's open in transition, he'll pull. He doesn't care. He thinks he's going to make the shot. He's come a really, really long way, and that's a great sign for all of us here, considering all of the financial constraints on this team going forward.
Yeah, definitely. Then you got to keep an eye on him. He's really good, man. And then last guy you mentioned, Torrey Craig was great. 4 offensive rebounds, all of which feel like they came early in the game. He had 3 blocks too. He was all over the place. He's good, man. I don't think he'll play in the playoffs, but whenever he's in the game, it's a positive impact. It's very, very much like if O'Shea Brissett could shoot the 3 a little bit. it's just like the same thing, in my opinion. The way he crashes the glass, the way he hustles out there. They're very similar players, except Torrey Craig has a 3-ball and O'Shea does not. But yeah, shout out Torrey Craig.
Yeah, I enjoyed Torrey Craig in this game. Just all over the place. This is his best outing, I think, since joining the Celtics by far. Just was as involved as possible without scoring. The glass, the 8 rebounds, 4 of them offensive. He's flying around on the court. Like, I know I'm not giving like good analysis on this stuff. I'm a little tired. But I can tell you for sure, Torrey Craig impacted this game when the game was actually somewhat close. What is his plus minus? Not that this really matters. He was plus 11, so not that impressive in a 34-point win. But nonetheless, I thought he was good. Woohoo, Torrey Craig.
I did too. Shout out Torrey Craig. I don't know if there's anything else in this game. The Wizards are really, really bad, like unbelievably bad. They just like let Alex Sarr shoot a lot of threes. Justin Champagnie was actually really good. Shout out the former Celtic. He had 15 and 13. He's been good for them. Marcus Smart. We didn't talk about Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart returned to TD Garden. Got in a scuffle with fans. Apparently, according to Jared Weiss, who put out a tweet about it, there was a fan behind the Wizards bench who like started talking shit to Jordan Poole because his team was losing, and Marcus stood up and was like, "Hey, if you're gonna talk to somebody, talk to me." And then it escalated. The fan got kicked out. It was a whole thing. All the while, TD Garden is chanting like, "We want Marcus," which is just awesome. It was like outside of that incident, like they were doing it before and then it happened and stuff. They put Marcus in the Jumbotron before the game started. They cheered for him. The crowd did. I don't think Marcus acknowledged it. I don't think he was paying attention, but
he waved when he came out.
I see. Shout out Marcus though. Always nice to see him back in Boston.
And he waved as he left. I don't know how much of a loser you have to be to go at Marcus. Like, that's just so weird. So weird.
Well, I don't think he was originally. I think he was going at Poole, and then it was just like Marcus got caught in the crossfire. Almost.
Yeah, but then he really like he must have said something to Marcus, because haha, you're losing to Poole isn't like jump over the bench, and you know what I mean? Like,
well, Marcus was defending his guy. I assume
I'm
that's
not
how
saying Marcus was in the wrong and the fan was in the wrong. What are you gonna like when Marcus is like, say something to me? You're like, all right, whatever. Like, respect. That's what it should have been. Like, okay, yes, but to go at him is just so bizarre. And the timing of it was really weird because Bobby Kravitzky was next to me and he was tweeting out like about the "We Want Marcus" chants. And then that happened. And I don't think Bobby noticed it. And I was like talking about it. He's like, wait, that happened? I was like, oh yeah. Like, he almost jumped over the row and went after the guy. The 2 fans got ejected, and that was the end of it. The chants continued. Marcus waved goodbye to everybody, took a picture with somebody, talked to all the different Celtics players that came up to him at half court. It was pretty nice. Wish he got to play. Fans wanted to see him play. I would have liked to see him play, but that's my guy. So wish him the best.
Indeed. I assume what they did, because Marcus was like technically active, but I assume they just had to keep him active because they didn't have enough players available to where they could put him on the injury report. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bet he's hurt, but they had like 10 guys in the injury report, so they needed a certain amount of active players. So it is what it is. Shout out Marcus though. Anything else from this game you wanted to go over? I think we touched on most of it. Looking through here.
We just did a half hour on Celtics Wizards in April. We deserve whatever kind of like Emmy that they would give out for YouTube.
Shout out AJ Johnson too, guy we looked at in the draft, now starting for the Wizards.
Yes.
But appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and all that same. Take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, tell us your thought of Celtics Wizards, subscribe, and hit the bell. We're going to be here every single day with new content. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps drop the morning after each game. And other videos are on the channel between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find the 2 of us streaming live 30 minutes before each tip-off for pregame. You can see us there, chat with the chat, watch us lose at Prize Picks, watch us play GeoGuessr, and probably get assaulted by the locations they drop us at. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple. All pods and recaps are up there. So if you just want those, go ahead, follow. They go right to your feed. Leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very, very much. You can also tell your friends. That'd be sick. Email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We had great emails for the last pod. We're recording at some point tomorrow. So get them in, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook's the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is Jax1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.